here we are potentially going to defend our bases in another foreign country, but we won't even defend our border.
No.
We won't defend when they're cutting through the bars at the southern border, but that is not defendable.
Border Patrol is cutting through the barbed wire. I watched it happen. I watched probably 400 people cross in the span of 30 minutes.
Texas puts up the barbed wire and then federal agents cut it?
Texas
and
National Guard, yeah.
Sue to get the buoys out of there.
Yeah.
Because they said it wasn't humanitarian at first, and then they changed their mind and said you need congressional approval.
Well, so the reason they're cutting the barbed wire is just to make it more humanitarian, because as soon as they step foot on U.S. soil, which is right across the barbed wire, they have to let them in and quote unquote give them a shot.
They don't have to. They're like, well, the law requires it. Okay, dude.
Well, they make up these things where, like, what was it with one of the bridges, I think, near, not Eagle Pass, but they were saying, oh, well, it's dangerous. This is a steep embankment, and so people could fall. But they shouldn't be attempting to cross the border in the first place. So why are we making accommodations to make it safer, aka easier to cross the border?
Well,
right?
and they know this. All the migrants crossing, they're fully aware of this too, because when you speak to them, they'll tell you, we came here because we were told we would get a better way of life and we could come to this area. We could come to Eagle Pass. Yep. So migrants all across the world, most of them aren't coming from Mexico. They're coming from all over.
Yeah.
The largest number right now from what I've seen from Border Patrol is Venezuelans, which, you could understand why maybe they're fleeing their country. On the other hand, should we just be like, it's no problem, come on in?
The other question is, how are they getting here from Venezuela? These people are paid $25 a month. Who is funding them to come from Venezuela and get all the way to our southern border? That's the real question.
Yeah.
What NGOs are involved? What governments are assisting in this? People are getting on cargo trains coming right up to our southern border. Yeah. And we have no leadership there.
I don't know if this is part of the same report, but I am seeing on Twitter that rockets have hit military bases in near Baghdad International Airport.
Of course they did. When you look at the rhetoric and the discourse outside of America, everyone is saying this is the responsibility of Israel and America. This is the responsibility of Ukraine and America. It's all, America's intertwined with all of these feuds. Of course, someone's going to do something eventually.
Yeah. Well, and to Scott's point, if you lived in a dangerous neighborhood, you would lock your door, right? If we know we're on the brink of global crisis, obviously I think we should have secured the border a really long time ago. This is basic in 101 how to maintain your country, right? But they didn't. And now that we are on the brink of war on several fronts, why are we not number one securing our own border? Why was that not why did Joe Biden not mention that during his speech? Why is it about what's happening somewhere else when he's not ensuring that the people here are safe first? It's not that you can't have compassion for loss of life anywhere else. It's not that you can, we can debate what involvement we should have, but ultimately the first thing he should do is say, we are making sure the border is secure.
You have more and more people every day who hate America because of how involved we are everywhere else. And we have our fingers in every pie. And we have record border crossings. We have estimated 270,000 migrants encounters.
Yeah.
Well,
just last month. That's in September.
In a month.
One month. That's record breaking. And that's just the ones we know about.
Yep, true.
That are processed.
And I know this isn't just going to the rabbit hole of a border discussion, but really, we need to do a better job of messaging the America First message when it especially comes to the border. What don't Democrats want? Democrats want to reduce gun violence, right? Guns are trafficked in and out of the United States because of the open border. They care about women, right? And they want to stop sexual assaults, right? And they want to stop human trafficking, right?
That's what they say.
Then what about closing the border to make sure that women and children are protected?
But this is consistent with democratic logic, right? Like, if they really believe that we should protect children and we should prevent child labor, they would demand all the manufacturing jobs come back from China, right? They would put it in a country that is actually regulating these things. But instead, they are able to turn a blind eye because it's not really about, and I don't want to generalize here. There are obviously people who vote Democrat who really do call for and believe in these things, but they are being misled by anyone who has any kind of control over that party, because ultimately the values that they preach are not anything that they actually make decisions based on.
Well, and why are some deaths more important than others? Nobody talks about the 300 people that are dying daily from fentanyl. They'll talk about one death, they'll talk about the atrocity that is happening, that is awful, but what about fentanyl, the drugs, that crisis as well? There are just so many things that, honestly, if we just funded and secured the border, we could see so many problems here domestically, but also internationally.